to recite the Heart Sutra. Microphone not ready.
No perception, no impulses.
Good evening, my dear friend. Thank you for coming for tonight meditation and Dharma talks. Everybody ready for Thanksgiving? Tonight we have no study on the Sutra. We just have question and answer. If you have anything to share for this week, anything that you like to ask about the Dharma, the teaching, we can summarize or give some information. So as you know, Thanksgiving is the day of thanks to all saints and beings, right? So in Buddhism, we have 4 kind of thanks. The first, we thank to our the 3 Jews, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. The second thing, we thank to our father and our mothers. The third thanks, we thank to the people who sacrifice to protect our country, like Army, Navy, all the soldiers who try to give up their life to protect this country for safety. So we give thanks to them. The fourth thanks, we thank to all sentient beings, right? So we all live with connect together. There's nobody separate. So whenever we look up the tree, the plant, the animals, the cat, the dog, we should thank to them because they give us energy, life, right? We cannot separate from them, right? Also, we thank to all the virus, the bacteria inside of us. There's millions of them inside. So without them, we don't have this body, right? So if we have a cold, we have a fever, we have sickness, we should thank to them. Without them, they cannot give us sickness. If we don't have sickness, then we don't practice. Imagine if your whole life healthy all the time, you probably vacation all the time. Lucky we have sick illness, so we can stay home and rest. So sickness, illness is a way to practice, to calm your body, to calm your mind, and observe this body. Right? Imagine your body is always healthy. You're chasing, you're running around, right? But fortunately, we have time of sickness, illness, so we can lie down and relax and contemplate on this body is impermanent. Sometimes, as a monk, we have sickness. It's good for us to have a chance to lie down and observe our body. This body is impermanent. This body will come and go. Right? So that is the 4 things. That's thanks to all sentient beings. So in Buddhism, we have 4 things, right? That's why this week is the Thanksgiving. We should not to offend of you, but when we give thanks, we kill, it's like almost million of turkey. Right? It's the sacrifice for people. Right? So sometimes we give thanks, but actually we hurt other sentient beings. Right? So it's very, I'm not just saying to offend anyone to eat turkey, but that is the way to see the reality. When we give thanks all sentient beings. The people, the animals, the plant, the tree, the sacrifice for us, for this life. Sometimes we cut down a tree, that tree sacrifice for us to have paper, to have all these things, right? Also the grass, the plant. So tonight, just share some things given for your guide to keep in mind. So whenever you go outside eating, make sure give thanks to all these things inside of you. Do you have any question, comment? Yes, go ahead.
I know we always give thanks to the military, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we should also give thanks to the workers, to the working
Yes,
class.
that's what we say, all living beings.
Yeah, but we should put them on the same level as the military.
Yeah,
Labor Day.
labor, yeah. So other worker too.
I mean, they make everything that we have. They
Yes.
package the food, they grow the food,
That's
they
right.
harvest it, they make the clothing, they write the computer programs,
That's
they
right.
manufacture everything.
So we should thank everyone.
Yeah.
That's why the last one is thank everyone. All sentient beings, sentient beings and non-sentient beings. Right. So. Anything else you'd like to share? Yes, go ahead, Daniel.
So you're saying, in a way, it's lucky that I'm growing old and my body is kind of falling apart?
Yes.
Because that gives me
Have a
kind of
change.
more perspective and more understanding, or
Diligence and wisdom.
Yes, it helps you to understand the impermanence of this body. Imagine you young forever, you live forever. What's the point of practice? See,
because if you're young forever, then your behavior is
Yes.
more reckless and
yes,
irresponsible.
you have less responsible. But when you grow older, you have more responsible. Anybody else? Question, comment? Yes, go ahead.
So the word contemplate,
Mhm.
does it mean you actually think? Like when you contemplate on impermanence, do you sit there and you say, I will die soon?
No, contemplation impermanent means you observe. You don't say, I'm going to die, I'm going. It's not like that. You observe everything changing. Your body changing right now, your breath changing, your air is changing. This is impermanent. The house, the key, everything, right? So inside the permanent, impermanent is permanent. The permanent is impermanent. When you understand the impermanent, then you never die. Right? Die means something we believe that disappear forever. It's not like that. In Buddhism, die is just a temporary. It just transformed to another form. It's like we have this body, earth, water, fire, and air. When we stop breathing, let's go back to the earth, water, and air. But to a different form. It can be a tree, a plant, sky, water, in the ocean. So these four elements go back to the original four elements. So actually, Buddhism, the Zen concept is no birth, no death. It just transforms to a different form. Sometimes we say, oh, that person died. Actually, he or she is not dying. He just transformed to a different form. Not having this form, but different form. Right? So when you understand that concept, you don't feel any sad in your mind. You feel like, oh, he's inside or she inside me. Right? We all connect together. You don't feel like upset, mad, and then grouchy, upset, all that stuff. This is very hard, difficult, but you have to do it, right, to overcome it. So that is the way of contemplate on impermanence. Anybody else? Danielle?
You mentioned about thanking the soldiers in the military. What about the fact they have to kill to defend? What about their killing?
That's another story. You have to ask them. Here we think it's like, the good heart, they have to sacrifice their life to protect us. It's like, I don't know
Like
if
they have to die.
Yeah, if they have to sacrifice their life to protect us for a safe country. Right. Also, in Vietnam we call work mean all, not only the military, but all the people in the country, from the labor to the military to everything, to everybody, from the president down to the worker, right? From the leader to down to the people who clean the toilet for you every day. People who work pick up the strawberry for you to eat. The people who wash, do in the restaurant. Right? That's why the last sentence we say all sentient beings. Sentient being and non-sentient being. That's engulf everyone. There's no here and there. That's why our thinking mind away, oh, why you don't think this and think that? We still discrimination. That's why the last sentence thinks all sentient beings that cover everything. Sentient being and non-sentient being. You see that? That's why in Vietnam we call chúng sanh vô. At the end we say chúng sanh vô, being thầy nguyện, chúng sanh mean all sentient beings. I vow to save all them. That's why we recite the last sentence. That's all sentient beings, living beings or innumerable. I vow to save them.
Well, I thank the military. I'm just wondering how that relates to the the precepts where it says no killing.
That is the different. No killing. You don't have the evil mind of killing, but then they have to kill to protect. That's the different. You see that? Sometimes you have to kill to protect other people. You have to sacrifice. Right? You cannot just no killing and they will kill you. Right? Just like the virus, you have. If you don't kill the virus will kill you. That's why you have to destroy the virus. You have to sacrifice the small thing and protect the large thing. Because we live in reality, you cannot perfect. Nothing is perfect. You have to this or that. Just like we eat vegetarian, we have to sacrifice all the insect, pesticide. Without them sacrifice, we have no vegetable to eat, right? Even though we are vegetarian, we are not vegetarian. Inside vegetarian, there's a lot of virus, bacteria, insect. Right? So when you contemplate deeply, because this world is nothing perfect, we have to, the term Vietnamese called tương đối. Tương đối is like what?
Relative.
Huh?
Relative.
Yeah, just relative, not absolute. Right? Sometimes you have to sacrifice small things, you have to protect the lot of people. Just like in a town, one person is crazy, kill everybody, we have to kill them, that person to protect the whole village. We cannot say, we kill this person and then, you see that? So the same thing. So when you understand that concept, it's very easy. Your mind is open. We always have to say, why this, why that? We have to be like that. Right? Because we use the thinking mind. Right? Yes, you have a question?
Actually, I just want to have a little comment.
Okay.
I think number one, we must say we thank the Buddha and
The teachers.
like, I don't think that we should hang on to the orders of the thanking
Yes.
because there's no orders. I mean, it just tells you that, okay, well, think of all those people who help you, who give you guidance. But the bottom line is we thank every single one. And also, what I would say, we thank the military. I don't think we should hang on to that word or language, military, but rather thank the people who protect you. And that's not easier to understand because if someone protect me, I should thank them.
It's like the mom, the dad protect the children.
So don't hang on to the language of just a concept, like I said.
So then, you tend to hang on language a lot, huh?
Me too.
Yeah, I see. Here we go.
I think language is how we communicate.
I know, but
So I don't think there's anything wrong.
yeah, it's not wrong with the language, but it's your mind attached to it. That's the problem.
I don't think I was attached to it, I just wanted to hear your explanation.
Oh, I see.
That was all.
Okay. Yes,
You know,
correct.
your 4 subject areas were biological or living beings, and when we were meditating, I was thinking about material things. That's another.
That's called living and non-living.
Oh, okay. So okay.
Sentient, non-living and living.
Okay, it includes everything.
Yes, it's called everything.
I was just thinking. I was just wondering if that was a form of attachment. But I was thinking as far as thinking and being, praising the shelter and the car to get me here, and
Yeah, the
that's
house,
what was going
the
through
heat,
my head. What's that?
the house, the
Yeah.
heat, protect you warm, the jacket, the clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a non-living.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. I wanted to include that.
You should thank your teeth too, your mouth. Without them, you cannot eat. That's why living being and non-living being. Okay, anybody give you thanks? Anybody this weekend? Question, comment? Yes, go ahead.
I've been contemplating non-attachment, and I feel like when I've contemplated, I've made some ground, or said, well, maybe when it comes to having less attachment to like objects, or being able to recognize it when I'm attached to objects. And I've kind of come to the conclusion that some of it is that when I'm attached to something, it's partly that I'm not able to see the interbeing, or understand my own. How am I trying to say it? That I'm not that much different than the object, and so really there is no attachment. But then when it comes to things that are formless, like ideas, I have more trouble with trying to be unattached. And I wonder if you have any advice about how to be unattached to things that are formless, like ideas.
So all the ideas come from thought. That's why we sit meditation. Any thought arises, we don't hang on it. We try to let it go. But sometimes we meditation, our minds appear calm, a good idea. So when that good idea, we should accept it and use it. So everything is come from our thought. So if it's good, you can use it. Use it. If it's not good, throw away. So idea is the same thing. Right? So ideas come from your thought. Thoughts come from your mind. Right? Some people sometimes the meditation, their mind is calm. There's a lot of good idea arise, and then they try to think about it. They might hang on it. So that's. But if you hang on it, you use it, but don't attach to it. It's like people who sell secluded meditation 2 or 3 months. When they meditation, their mind is calm. There's a lot of idea, good idea. They understand a lot of stuff. But sometimes they hang on it, they will cover their true nature. If any thoughts arise good, you just know it, you just aware of it, and then you experiment, and then later you can use it. But don't attach to it. Because that idea good for now, but later on it's not good. Right? Because all comes with a thought. Idea can change, depend on the condition, depend on the concept, depend on that person we use. So idea is like medicine. Right? If you use that idea for the right person, it's good. But you use that idea for other people, they don't need it. It's not good. So we have to be careful. Any ideas, good idea arise. Is this benefit for me, benefit for sentient being, the other people, I just use it. If not benefit for me and other sentient being, then I don't use it. Anybody have any suggestion? Yes, go ahead.
What kind of idea might one be attached to?
Well, it seems the ones that get me the most. I just feel like there's so many thoughts.
Yes.
It's like a fish in a small pond, and there's just like hooks with bait all around. And the ones that seem to bait me the most, that get attached to it, the ones that stir up emotions. Especially like anger or even happy thoughts. But it's once it seems like there's some emotion attached, and I'm just then I'm attached, and I can't. Whereas when I'm calmer, and there's some other ideas that don't stir up as much emotion, then I can kind of stay less attached to those. But the ones that really get me seem to have some emotion attached to it, it's in a context where I have some emotion with it.
So you mean being attached to being happy or being angry?
Well, it's anything like when, I try to stay calm throughout the day of it, and just be aware of my thoughts, and try to use the ones that are good and get me through the day and that are helpful. But I do find the ones that like a memory of something that happened, maybe that I'm angry about. It's like I'm right on it, I'm attached, firmly, and I can't. And once that happens, I can't seem to back out of it for a long time. It takes a lot of time to let go.
So in other words, it kind of persists in your mind and you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, at times.
I'd like to share my experience on that as well. I'm talking quite a bit tonight. I think we we say don't or do not quite often, but most of us, or in fact, all of us, do not or hate the word not or no or negative, right? So maybe instead of thinking, do not hang on to the idea or do not get attached, we can say, oh, let's try something else. I wear my glasses all day because I need my glasses, right? But if it causes headache, put them down, relax. Instead of thinking, oh, don't wear the glasses all the time. Just put them down. I hold the glasses in my hand because I need to drink some water. If I keep holding on to the glasses, I cannot do something else. So instead of thinking, do not hang on to the glass all the time, just simply put it down and do something else. So if you find yourself hanging on to a certain thought and you don't like it, instead of trying to get rid of it, you can try that. Or you can just say, hi, I want to do something else. It works for me sometimes.
Near it, yeah.
Because there's so many other things we can do.
So I thought like medicine, just like I told you. This medicine is good for me, I use it, and then I'm cured, I don't need it. Yeah. Good thought, bad thought, it's just a medicine. Depends on how you use it.
Well, I think it's good you're identifying the ego when it comes up. That's a big, because a lot of people can't.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
that's making progress, just identifying when those times come up.
Because good thought, bad thought is come and go. Sometimes it's come with us a couple of days. So like if we have a bad day, we need good thought. Right? A good thought helps us to overcome the bad thought. And then sometimes we just use it. It still hang on a couple of days. It's okay, but don't try to grab on it. And then it will come slowly, go by itself. It's go away. Yes.
I think what Laura said is really true for you, Michael, and for all of us. It's important to stop and appreciate, the progress that we make, and not get so hung up on what more we have to do. Because there's always that, but we should take time and appreciate how far we've come.
Sometimes we try too hard. It's very simple, very stable, but we think sometimes we overreact. Right? That's why we get fear, upset, angry easily. Yes, go ahead.
Do you happen to know where Joseph is or how he's doing or anything?
Joseph, he's come maybe 3 months. He's up and down. He said this, Joseph or Joe?
Joe, I call him Joseph.
Oh.
But yes, the same person.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, this holiday he's very busy. He has to take care of 2 children and we don't know. Joe, the Philippine guy.
Filipino.
So all the people come here, they come, they go, I don't know. You can ask me. Sometimes they feel something, they come. Sometimes they need the energy, they come. Sometimes they can hang on themselves. We cannot expect them to come every week. So you are fortunate you come every week. That's good.
Just wondering how he's doing.
I think we'll do okay. Oh, next time you can get his phone number. You can call him. It's better than from me.
I'd rather not.
If you're more interested in him, thank goodness today you think about him. Okay. I think the other girls she sit out there. I think her name is
Claire?
Heidi. Yeah, my founder.
What did you say about Heidi?
Oh, they have a long hair, kind of dyed.
Yeah.
She probably have less busy. A lot of tests.
Yeah.
Go to school.
She's working full-time and going to
Full time. So as you see, the Dharma classes, people come and go. Sometimes they need to come, they come. They don't need it. Stay Yeah, I'm in practice. Anybody else? Comment, question?
Thank you for doing this every Wednesday.
Thank you. It's my
I look
pleasure.
forward to coming every week, and
Yeah.
anytime I can come here and spend, it's just so beneficial for me.
Yes.
So I'm so thankful to
Well,
find you.
I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm here. If tomorrow I'm stop breathing, I'm everywhere. When I live here, I will open the class. If I'm not here, somebody take over. Yes, you have a question?
I was just wondering, all of you guys, what's your favorite holiday?
There we go.
Me, it's Thanksgiving.
Food, huh?
No, not the food. My grandmother passed away 2 years ago,
I see.
and she was the focus of our family, and so I haven't really had a family since she passed, and I had so many wonderful memories of going to her house and spending time with family, and I had a lot to be thankful for.
Yes.
And that's why I love Thanksgiving. It's,
Usually Thanksgiving is a time for family come together. It's the best of the years. Come brother, sister, grandmother, father, grandmother, all the family too. Like family reunion. They come and eat and enjoy. But for me, every day is holiday. Anybody else? What's your best holiday here? Anybody some share the experience? Daniel?
I like them all, but I would put a vote in for Halloween because people, they do something different then. They're not just doing their regular routine. And they kind of, it's supernatural and it's more imagination.
Anybody know the term holiday mean?
so holiday.
Holiday. Holy come from holy spirit, right? And there's the day spirit. The day is like pure calm. So for us, every day is pure and calm. Not wait until Thanksgiving, Christmas, or holy. Holy is like, some people say holy and some is holiday. Right? There's two pronunciations. Holidays in the, I think in the west, in the eastern, in the Texas, holiday. But here we call holiday.
Well, holiday is more reserved for, because they originally had the same meaning, but holiday is more for religious and holidays for more secular. Because they were once upon a time the same thing, but then they kind of diverged into two separate categories.
So right now they say a holiday,
Yeah,
not holiday.
kind of like the Feast of the Epiphany or many saints.
Anybody heard the term holiday? It's the same as holiday.
It is.
Yeah,
Basically the same.
but pronouncing in the west, I think in the Texas, because in Kansas we say holiday.
It's holiday.
Yeah, it's holiday, not holiday. Because I grew in Kansas, so I study English there.
You studied what there?
English in Kansas. Yeah. So that's why my accent is sometimes holiday.
Kansas accent.
Yeah. Salina, small country.
Kansas.
Yes, correct. No place like home. No place like home. Someday I may go there. Back to home, where I belong. The tornado bring me there. Right now we have a tornado in the temple, so I may go. I have 2 pair of shoes already, so I just click and fly to Kansas. Yes. Go ahead.
Could you mention some of the main Buddhist holidays and what we should?
Usually we have the 2 best holidays, the day of the Buddha birthday the Buddha Enlightenment Day, the Buddha enter Nirvana. That's the three best things. And another day is Parent Day, Vu Lan. Yeah, that's what we do on August. Parent Day, generation, to honor our father, our mother. That's why you have flower. If you have father, mother living, you have a red flower. If one of them missing, you wear the pink, and the whole they lost, you wear the white. So this is our holiday, very simple. And the best holiday is New Year. Everybody get the money, wear beautiful clothes. That's the only day that Vietnamese they show off their jewelry, their clothes. Everybody have different dress, nice. Áo dài, people wear áo dài. So we have 4, 5.
It's February, right? When is
Yeah,
it?
in February.
Usually week of Super Bowl.
Yeah, usually after Super Bowl.
I got sick.
I get berries every year. Use February.
It's the lunar calendar, I think.
It goes by the lunar calendar.
Yeah, lunar
Gregorian-
calendar.
Gregorian.
Yeah, I'll come.
Anybody else have a question, comment? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I could tell a story. I mentioned to you a little before. About a month and a half ago, I told Dale a little too. I went to Olympic National Park. And I'd been there before, but I went to a different part. I went to Lake Ozette. Has anyone else been there?
Been there.
Right, you've already been there.
Very nice lake.
It's a very nice lake. You camp by the lake. It's very remote. Most of the park, you go around in a big loop on the highway, and it's pretty easy. Lake Ozette, you have to veer up toward the northwest, and so it's quite remote. There are only 15 campsites there, so you don't know if you'll get a campsite when you show up. But it's so remote, you usually do. Anyway, the reason I mention it is because you hike to the ocean, and you hike to what's called Sand Point. Has anybody else been to Sand Point? Remember that? Yeah.
You know, it's talking about the triangle hike?
Right, the triangle hike. And Sand Point is really dramatic. It really had an impression on me. It's called Sand Point because there's this hill that's right, it's like a very small sea stack right by the ocean. And you climb up that hill, and you can easily imagine that you're like 1 million years ago or prehistory. It's just so primitive, and there's very, very strong smell there. The smell is kind of overpowering. At first, it's all this seaweed and just everything, and it's really pretty incredible. And all these rocks. Have you been to Sand Point? Yeah. So yeah, you have to crawl up this hill and get to the top, and it's not that easy. And then once you're at the top, it's very high. You've got this incredible view. And then one day I tried to go all the way to what's called Shishi Beach. If anybody's been there, it's very close to the
Sushi Beach or Shishi?
Shishi Beach, or however.
You come there and Shishi or what?
Huh?
Shishi Beach.
Shishi, yeah, S-H-I. Anyway, one day I hiked over 24 miles trying to get all the way up to the beach, and I didn't quite make it. The coast is very, very dramatic, and the beach changes as you go along. Some parts are very sandy, some are very rocky, and then you have to take these detours and go up and go around some of the points. And there's one place where the wind would come in and go out. And when the wind was coming in, I could hear these sounds. There were all these sea lions on this distant island that I could hear. There were hundreds of sea lions out there that I could hear, and I couldn't see them. But it was just so eerie to hear all those sounds coming in. I was walking there, and there was a porpoise, must have weighed 500 pounds or more, it was just huge. It had gotten stranded on the beach and in the rocks, and the porpoise was decomposing. It's, you know, anyway, just a really big impression on me. Yeah, I think it's really worthwhile to go. It's not that easy to get to. It's remote, but I think there's really real benefit to being out in the wild like that. And this is just so dramatic, right by the ocean.
Okay, thank you for sharing the story.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Anything to share?
I brought cookies to share.
Okay, have the class.
Pumpkin cookies. The man who cooks for me,
Mm-hmm.
his name is Fred.
Wow, you're a cooker.
His last name's Meyer.
Fred Meyer.
So I do have a man that cooks for me.
That's hilarious.
Thank you very much for bringing it.
Yes, go ahead.
I just got a story of something I'm really grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of along Daniel's line there. I was invited to take part in the salmon spawning at a hatchery that's south of here. And it was just a chance, coincidence, I was there to admire the fish, and the manager came out and he said, well, show up tomorrow and I'll put you in the river and let you mix up the milk and the eggs and stuff. And it was such an experience. I had to tell him to stop talking too much because I thought my heart was going to pop. So excited to do that. And they got me all outfitted and stuff. And then when I got the first bucket with the eggs and the milk in there, it was just such a thrill to think I had just a little part in maybe creating those baby fish. And I think they thought I was nuts because I was talking to them too. It's like, you're going to be the biggest fish ever. You're going to come back. It's like, could you just move along? It was just really something cool. I got to go into the hatchery and help to weigh the eggs so they could count them and then spray them with iodine and put them in the tank so they could grow. It was really neat. So I'm really thankful for that. It was fun.
Okay,
Sounds
thank,
good.
thank you for sharing. Anybody else have anything? The two couple right here go Vietnam. Any story to tell?
Yeah.
They went come back from Vietnam.
Yes, we just came back from Vietnam. We got to visit the master of the master.
Grandmaster.
The grandmaster.
Yeah.
So it was very nice. We really enjoyed it. Very peaceful, very relaxing. Also realized that we are very lucky. We're still here breathing. So I'm thankful for that. Thankful for being able to see everyone. Thankful for the energy that you've been giving. Thank you.
How's your daughter doing related to that accident, the tragic accident, and her friends?
So I think she's doing better. Yeah. Certainly it will take some more time for her to really, be stable, but I think she's doing much better. Thank you.
What accident?
Well, actually, I read more about the accident, so I can explain. This was in August. It was in Cleveland, and there was a parent, and he was driving. He was driving with his son and 3 other boys in the car, and the vehicle went off the road, and either 2 or 3 of them have died at this point. Is that correct?
Just one guy.
No, two of them.
But at this point, right, at this point, it's like 2 or 3. It was not a collision, there was no other vehicle involved. And I read more about it. He was impaired in some way, I think you mentioned that. Maybe he was taking some kind of medicine that impaired his abilities for driving. Also, tragically, the 4 boys were not wearing seatbelts, was my understanding. So there's a very simple lesson there. And so he's been charged with a crime for his role in the deaths. And I don't know what the status of that is. But anyway, it was a really terrible accident. And so their daughter knew the boys, and it affected her very strongly, as would be expected. She's so young and this terrible thing happened. Was there more about that to say?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so the daughter shared that one week here. She just raised her hand and told us about it, which showed a lot of courage on her part to be able to talk about that.
How are the other people doing the car?
The other people, okay, well, I think at the scene itself, there was one death, and then in the hospital, pretty soon after, another one of the boys died. And then just a few weeks ago, a third had been in the hospital and he died. And then the 4th, I'm not quite sure how he's doing. They were all severely injured. And the father, he's okay, he's wearing a seatbelt. And he caused the accident.
Were they both boys?
Go ahead.
That was in the news.
I believe 3
The
of
third
them.
one, just a couple of weeks ago.
When was it?
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago. It was on the Como 4. The 3rd boy passed away.
I believe so. That's my recollection.
Is that true?
I believe so. That's my memory. I have to double check, but I believe
That's what I read.
3 of the boys have passed away.
All the same family?
No, they were not all the same family. So the father, one of the passengers was his boy, and then the 3 other boys, I'm not sure what the relationship was. No, they were not all the same family. Anyway, just something really terrible.
Okay.
It was a few weeks
Any
ago we talked
further
about it.
question? We will end. Okay, thank you for coming tonight. We recite the ending vows and let you go. Living beings are innumerable, I vow to save them all. Afflictions are endless, I vow to eradicate them all. The Dharma is unconquerable, I vow to study them all. The Buddha ways and excelled, I vow to attain it. I vow to the merit and virtue from these good souls everywhere, and wish everyone, so that all of us and all living beings will realize the Buddha way. Thank you. Enjoy your wonderful weeks.
Thank you.
And stay safe, safely. Drive safely.
Oh, it's kind of fast.